Greetings. Welcome once again to another edition of Top 10 Worst Ofs, viewed throughout the entirety of the Top 10 Worst of Diaspora as the preeminent source for Top 10 Worst Ofs. Dedicated and principled. A high level of fidelity to utilizing Top 10 Worst Ofs as a means of being able to escape the deleterious effects and impacts of the third-party outsourced propaganda ministry of our ruling elite captors who are doing everything that they possibly can to ruin our lives with all kinds of shiznaz applied in a vast array of booby traps and trapped boobies. My name is Yuri Nate, and I can't tell you what a honest to goodness thrill it is to be here once again. And today's top 10 worst of list is transformative. I think is the understatement of the year. I think it's beyond the beyond. I think it's just in impact and scope could very well possibly be voted at the annual Bilderberger meeting as the most impactful top 10 list of all time. Top 10 worst lists of all time. The Bluebeards and the long hairs are stroking themselves in full contemplative mode, a la mode. And it's the top 10 worst chart accounts in the chart of General Electric's chart of accounts. Top 10 worst accounts in General Electric's chart of accounts. Yes, right. We're going full on. It's going to be an accounting episode. That's right. Talk about excitement. I know that you're probably as foaming at the tip as I am. Yeah, I mean, General Electric, okay, a lot of people are thinking like, General Electric, why is this menace to society going after one of the most well-respected members of the Fortune 500? I'll tell you why. It's because they're also one of the number one defense contractors. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? General Electric, those guys who make all the wonderful space heaters that keep us from freezing to death and our children from freezing to death, and all these low rent, high rent apartments that are barely livable because of atrocious practices by robber baron landlords. Yes, those same very General Electric people who are saving your ass by giving you space heaters are also killing the asses and owning them in wide swaths of areas of the world which are considered by our captors to be expendable in all possible idioms. Yes. And, you know, there'll be like, people are out there going like, no, please tell me that the stars of the TV series 30 Rock are not actually trying to brainwash us into thinking that they're not a bunch of sadistic murderers. Not 30 Rock. Yes. Yes. They're doing wrong by us. Yes. Calm down, all right? God damn it. We'll get to the freaking list. Non-believers, denial. All right, so before we get to that, I want to, like sort of, give you some perspective here. Number one, I am not somebody who I would believe if I was watching this video and you were the one presenting it. Number one, if you were presenting it, I mean, really, let's be honest. I don't want to, dim bulb is perhaps going overboard a little bit, calling you, but it's probably, if the I was not supposed to say that. If the shoe fits, wear it. I know it's not, people like want to see me sentenced to death by Colombian necktie for even saying it. But I think a lot of you are probably dumbos. Okay. Even watching a snobbish sort of poser production like Top 10 Worst Ofs. Even a lot of you guys are probably walking around with your snoot up in the air. Like, I would not deign to watch such a plebeian exercise in artifice. And you're just like, okay, well, whatever. So, anyway, you're going to hear some things. You hear some things. It's General Electric. So you might hear a lot of things on this one that you're not going to believe. And you're going to be like, why should I believe this fat slob? I don't want you to believe me. And how dare you call me a fat slob? No, I'm okay with it. I'm not that delusional. Well, anyway, so here's the thing. I want you to go to the freaking resources. I want you to look at it for yourself. Because until you really dig down deep and find alternate resources and check articles and all kinds of stuff, you're not going to believe a single goddamn thing that anybody has to say, truth or not. And that's a bull-dink way to live your lives, of not being able to believe in anything. It's cutting you loose and making you untethered to, sort of drift throughout the world, a world full of, where everything is a lie. You just randomly select things that you find to be trusted sources that are all lies. If you've heard of it, if you see it, if it's been distributed to a place where you can ingest it, it's a lie. And even me, I'm beating my ass off for 30 years trying to get the good word out about how to instigate a peaceful revolution by empowering what's good in people, making them too strong intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, physically, educationally, to be dominated by our overlords, our pathetic, mean-spirited, pathological overlords. Okay? And I got my ass whooped for it. That's a large part of the reason why I look like somebody who got shot out of a dumpster in the back of Chili's. And I only spend 3 weeks out of the year in Chili's dumpsters during the Christmas season. It's my version of a Christmas vacation. The other thing is, I'm not partisan. I'm not going to, I don't, if you can't judge me based on who I am, then I don't want you to be, I just might as well say, just screw that fat, hairy, a piece of filth, and just walk away. If you're going to say oh, he looks like, well, most fat, hairy pieces of filth are old, washed out hippie nobodies, and so they were all a bunch of crazy lefty morons and banging everything that moves and going and dancing in a bunch of piles of mud and all I can say, no thanks, I'm not down. Or you could say oh, Well, he's trying to make himself look like one of those freaking hippies, and he really is like somewhere to the right of if Charlie Kirk and Attila the Hun had a baby. He's somewhere to the right of it. And he's just lying. He's just another one of these delusional guys being paid under the table $1 million, a golden parachute, an hour, and just trying to a brainwashing of a different color. Also, no. I'm just a guy. Just a guy standing in front of a girl, looking at her and telling her to love him. Is that how that goes? Yes, that's right. I am Julia Roberts from Notting Hill. I've had a lot of work done. A lot of people think that even the top 10 worst stuff lists that I've been presenting here now for 7 weeks. I think that it's all a bunch of bulltink. Rotten, fetid, pooling scum with a skein on top, the scum with the skein, the chalice from the palace, the pellet with the poison. The chalice from the palace is the pellet with the poison, but the poison is the true with the brew that is true. I'm close. Closing in on it, goddammit. I was thinking about doing a play within the top 10 list, like they used to have, like play within the play back then. I was going to do the court jester because it's got like all the palace intrigue. It's the pellet with the poison, and there's the chalice with from the palace, the pez with the dispensers, the pez with the fez. Absolutely zero people know what I'm talking about. Anybody who even knows what the court jester was is probably dead by now. Be like, I remember the court jester, the pellet, the palace, the chalice, the poison, the pez with the fez. Sad state of affairs. That was good stuff. Danny Kaye was funny. I'm sorry. The guy was funny, talented. And the songs that he does, where he's the rappers talking about the things that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about things. I love that stuff. It's great. Yeah, total full-on absurdity, but done and delivered with a high level of skill sets. And his wife, that poor lady, who allegedly walked in on him while he's boinking Laurence Olivier, wrote all that most of it stuff. Flying in the air with the thing, and the air, and the sand, and the fair, and the fair, and the pear, and the pear, and the eat, and the feet, and the sand, and the apple with the crapple, and the sapple, and the dapple. And the yeah, man. We could use a lot more Danny Kaye's in the world. I think the world would be a better place. That guy was fun. It was weird. No big whoop. But no, we're stuck with a bunch of people who can barely act their way out of a paper bag, who get the job just because they're the children of some decrepit old pathological billionaire. Sadness. People don't think these top 10 worst of lists are prepared by a skilled team of former door-to-door encyclopedia salesmen who gather together with me outside of the Space Needle in Seattle and take copious doses of pheromones mixed with I got it. It's a butter. It's a type of butter. Duck butter. And come up with these lists with me. God damn it. What is that? So hard to believe? You'll believe that Danny Kaye exists with the you believe that exists, but you won't believe that duck butter exists. I'm afraid to say. I've got some right now. Wait. Ooh, no. Ooh, that's tight. Ooh, fresh. By the quarterback, by the second. Wouldn't that be a trick? God damn it. Top 10 worst. Oh, yeah, before we gotta go do the commercial sponsors. Here, we wouldn't have a show at all. Thank God for our commercial sponsors. So good, so tasty. And spread them on a cracker makes an excellent snack. It's new from Disney World. It's their latest ride. It's a small military industrial complex ride at Disney. There's no way to inspire the masses because the media is owned by the same people who own the politicians. But watch as children around the world are blown up by cluster munitions or poisoned with white phosphorus or shrapnel from depleted uranium shells. It's the new ride at Disney for this summer excursion. Rich people only. It's a small military industrial complex ride. It's a small military industrial complex. It's a small military industrial complex. It's a small kill brown people. So there was a co-op advertisement sponsored by both Disney and our featured topic of today, General Electric. And then coming up soon, Tuesdays at 9 p.m., it's The New Adventures of Ralphus, in part sponsored by Coke Spoon-Sized Shredded Wheat. You're not going to want to miss a minute of that. And, of course, we're also sponsored in part by the latest in the book series of For Dummies. It's Dropping Out for Dummies, the latest edition of the famous Dummy series. Details about dropping out of school and becoming a lifelong victim of society. In a series of short words and large type font, the book shows various ways, numerous ways, in fact, to make the most out of failure for the more than 33% of Americans that cannot navigate their way to graduate through high school, with chapters on how to apply for a job as a drive-through French fry bagger, how to deal drugs for the Bush cabal, how to CIA, how to stay alive in prison for $1 a day, and how to suck a D word for a cheeseburger. There's seemingly no limit to the information that you can attempt to read about the severely limited options your life shall afford you. Each book comes with a quarter as a contribution to your first beggar cup, along with a description of what they've done with all of the beggars for the last 25 years. Spoiler alert, they're all in Southeast Asia labor camps. Don't fight it. Come be a part of the vicious cycle. Come. We're the Great Space Coaster. Come on board. Great Space Coaster. We'll fly you away to a sweatshop in another. You fritter your life away in slavery. It's the Great Space Coaster. We'll chain you to a desk. Great Space Coaster. You'll eat through a communal tube. Great Space Coaster. You'll try to commit suicide than rather living another minute in slavery, working for Apple's manufacturing factories. It's Dropping Out for Dummies. All right, let's get out to it. Oh, man, this segment is always so worth it. Especially considering that, how I spend more time on that stuff than I do on the actual lists. It's a real unpleasant slog. Anyway, today's top 10 worst of list. Top 10 worst accounts in General Electric's chart of accounts. The chart of accounts is, they have numbers and descriptions for all the various different accounts that delineate streams of income. Let's say, for General Electric, it'd be, they have stuff like selling light bulbs, selling electrical appliances would be some of their income chart of accounts. Selling death lasers, to political despots, um, rendering the fat off of the people brown skin color that they murder on an ongoing basis in Central Asia and the Middle East. Those would all be in the chart of accounts for General Electric as income. And then, of course, you've got the other chart of accounts for expenses, like murdering brown people, bullet costs. That'd be one line item. Murdering brown people, depleted uranium, shrapnel distribution, murdering brown people, cluster munitions. These would all be separate line items in their ledger, general ledger. And the general ledger, of course, assimilates all these things and prints all the income at the top, prints all the miscellaneous accounting stuff in the middle, and then prints all the expenses at the bottom. At the end of it, it adds all the pluses and subtracts all the negatives. And wait, no, that doesn't work. If you subtract a negative, it turns out to be a positive. You gotta, if you're gonna go to a career in accounting, number one, you better hurry up because the AI is already pretty much probably replaced 90% of the accountants in the world, and not including the CPAs. They're still, sort of a little bit populated by a few humans. Secondly, you better be, whatever, because the only accountants that they're going to have left are the people that they want to be able to silence and threaten to make sure that none of the truth of what these companies are really doing ever gets out. And, if you're doing it digitally, it can be hacked. So they'll probably still have people because people are easier to kill off or threaten their loved ones or anything like that. So they'll just be like, yes, sir. We'll keep your chart of accounts. Yes, sir. More than happy to. And so they take all the pluses, which would be all the incomes, and they take the middle stuff, which is where transferring things off of the profit and loss statement onto your balance sheet, like accounts payable, accounts receivable, and all that kind of stuff. And then the bottom, you got all the expenses, the one you listed, for you to be able to subtract from the income and find out how much you made or lost for that year. So does everybody get it? So these are the chart of accounts that are specific to General Electric, like surreptitious murder expense for people like me. All right, so here we go. The top 10 worst accounts in the General Electric's chart of accounts. Number 10, cash. Cash is a good one. Everybody's got like a cash account. It's in there. Trust me. They probably, in case of General Electric, probably have several different cash accounts, many of which don't appear on their books, I would gather. Number 9, accounts receivable. Accounts receivable, that's a big one. You're not going anywhere without accounts receivable, ultimately, as a lot of people, like you send out the bills. Like all your utility companies have massive accounts receivables because they'll send out the bills and people can't afford to pay them because, they're so caught up in having to, buy like enough food to be able to survive, and health insurance costs, and health care costs directly, and then you got gasoline expenses, inflation, and all kinds of various different other types of things that get in the way of you being able to pay your utilities bill. And they'll wait for at least 30 days before you pay that, and then more than likely you're able to probably stretch that out to 60 to 90 days before they actually come after you, shut that stuff off. So accounts receivable is a pretty big thing for those utility companies. Like General Electric isn't one of those, but they do have something to do with that particular field, from time to time. Number 8 in the top 10 worst accountants in the General Electric's chart of accounts, accounts payable. Yeah, accounts payable. Now, even though, they nobody likes to have more accounts payable than they have accounts receivable on the books, it's a irrevocable fact of life that, you get the same terms, or you at least work towards the same terms for your creditors, people who are giving you the money to carry out your business needs and expenses that you have to incur in order to be able to, gouge people relentlessly for profit, and until you hurt them. They have that old phrase, you give until it hurts. Well, that's all well and good, but, for all these corporations, they've kind of paraphrase that a little bit by saying, take until it hurts. Take until it hurts. Yes. I kill you. So accounts payable, that's another one. Number 7, the top 10 worst accounts in the General Electric's chart of accounts. Golden parachutes and executive bonus expenses. And of course, I mean, all these people are keeping their mouths shut, that you're forcing them to sign all these non-disclosure agreements, which should be outlawed by the Constitution. If you can't have freedom of speech, I mean, that goes against one of the Bill of Rights. So, I mean, what's the point of having a Constitution if you can't have freedom of speech? And if you could just sort of force somebody to sign it, we'll ruin you. We'll ruin you and your little dog too. We'll eat your dogs and the cats. They're eating the dogs and the cats. Just the cat, actually. But anyway, golden parachutes and executive bonuses. This is a big, huge, and a lot of these, probably a lot of them are kind of hidden from view, maybe not necessarily appearing on the public disclosures that publicly held companies like General Electric are obligated to make from time to time because of the SEC, a little bit knows about the SEC. But these are going to be big, wafting payments that they're due for, people who straighten up and fly right, and don't rat out the murderers and the robber barons, and they at the end of their day they get to. It's not like a gold watch. They give you a golden parachute and you got everything taken care of for the rest of your life and for your kids' lives and all that kind of stuff. While in the meantime, regular schmucks like us are paying through the nose in order to just be able to keep them, from throwing us into debtor's prison. It's a good arrangement. It works for everybody. That's capitalism for you. Hey, Joe, how's the wife? Oh, she died from starvation-related causes. Well, that's a goddamn shame. Yeah, it is a goddamn shame. Oh. All right, so anyway, number 5 of the top 10 worst accounts in the chart of accounts for General Electric. Rampant environment poisoning expense. They got to do a lot of that stuff. I mean, when you're a defense contractor, you're building all these engines and all these, devices of death, mass extermination. You're going to probably have, a lot of that, those chemicals are trickling into the water supply all over the place, and then you got a lot of different people who are looking to try and, silence whistleblowers and pay off politicians and all these various different types of things that you're doing, with MS DuPont is the one that has Teflon and stuff, and PG&E was the one with the Aaron Brockovich's famous hexavalent chromium. But I gather that, General Electric's probably got a long list of things that they're doing that are deleterious to a healthy environment. We bring good things to light and a lot of good things to death as well. Number 4 of the top 10 worst accounts in General Electric's chart of accounts, killing babies fund expense. Now, this isn't like you might think, where they're putting a war chest together to fight off lawsuits for all the babies that they've killed for, just for giggles, just to have fun as a sort of meaningless distraction to them. They've got, but that's not what it is. It's money that they're stashing away to escalate the amount of babies that they can kill and get away with it. So it's not to protect themselves against future lawsuits of babies that they've done in. It's to fund additional future killings of babies. The killing babies fund expense. The killing babies fund expense. And then you get to the fork in the road. Sorry, that's a unnecessary cryptic reference that no one will get. Esoterica. One of the hallmarks of top 10 worst heads. So here we are, the top 10 worst of chart of accounts for General Electric. The slush fund account to pay off mainstream media for preferential coverage expense. lots of corporations have got this now. I can't really, necessarily condemn General Electric for having one of these things. It's almost like a, essential part of doing business. You got to pay off those brown nosers and toadies in the media, the news media. Simon Buzz Sinister says, pay off the media. You can. Pay off the media, can. Yes, Mr. Parsons, that's this car. They got him. Smoke him if you got him. It's the mainstream media is pretty much, all the medias, they're all lying about everything. All paid off by probably, General Electric probably owns, QAnon or the Newsmax and Breitbart and Daily Wire. Bunch of them. The chicks are probably, they'll have an intermediary company to provide some level of deniability, plausible deniability, to build up a firewall against anybody sort of finding out easily. But I guarantee, my personal guarantee, which is worth absolutely nothing, by the way, but my personal guarantee, I guarantee that some of these like murderous corporations of, are signing the checks for all these hate groups, everything like that. It's, that takes away the focus. You're too aggressive. Focus. It is. It lacks focus. Number 2, the top 10 worth the General Electric charitable accounts supporting hate groups expense. Well, that was pretty much what I was going to do. I stepped on my own material again. A little bit of Danny Kaye for you. Supporting hate groups expense. It's part of the deal. You got to beat the ass of the people who are predisposed to being like lefties, progressives, or interested in being educated. You can't just throw wars to get rid of them on an ongoing basis. We have a major league war every couple of years. You bankrupt even the vast, untold funds of the offshore accounts of the CIA drug money. You can't have that. No, you need to have a big war every 20 years or so that you can, soak the public for more tax dollars to, retool the military to have, to freshen up, to zhuzh up their killing system delivery vectors. And number 1 of the top 10 worst accounts in General Electric's chart of accounts, it's murder for hire and goon squad expense. Oh, yes. But let's be honest, in today's day and age, just about everybody's got one of those, right? Huh? Am I awake? Where am I? How did all these people get in my room? Don't tell him. Let him stew in his own juices. Well, it's all the time that we got for our top 10 worst of this today's episode. Is so incredibly enlightening. I think that, upon reflecting, it might not seem like it now, but you're going to be thinking about this episode, I think, personally, in the next 2 or 3 days, you're going to be like, just sitting doing around nothing, chatting with your side piece online, trying to figure out a way to be able to sneak on over to cut a nut and still make it home in time for Christmas dinner. And you'll think like, oh, wait a minute. I get it. General Electric. Nice. And you'll be like, wow, that really was. It's going to sneak up on you like creeper weed. And all of a sudden you're going to be like, wow, I get it. And you're going to be like, your heart will be filled with song and joy. And you'll sing something analogous to Anyway, thanks so much for joining in on the fun for today. Unrivaled excitement, rapturous, as reviewed by the New York Post. So don't forget, next time, we got a great one scheduled for next time. It's top 10 worst drugs to mix with a trip to the petting zoo. So don't miss a minute of the high-flying, high-minded delight that is top 10 worst of lists. I'll be right here waiting for you. And it's so beautiful, and I feel so great.